Welcome back, everyone. In this episode, I'm going to sit down with Olympic champion Cassandre Beaugrand for a very raw and personal conversation. Because behind her success lies a story of resilience, overcoming extreme adversity to reach the top and rise as a champion. She's going to share some very powerful insights that's not just going to leave you very motivated, but is also going to maybe change the way that you see your own journey. This is an absolute must listen, and I just want to say that I've got huge respect for someone that is so open about their own journey and their own path. So a lot of respect for her. Enjoy, sit back and listen. Welcome, dogs. Get your goggles, get your titles like a tri suit, put on those compression socks. Why be good at one sport if you can be shit at three? This is the Triathlon Mockery podcast. Welcome back to a brand new episode, and today is going to be a very special one because I've got a special guest. Not only is she a world champion and Olympic champion, currently I'm in Girona sitting with Cassandre Beaugrand. Do I say it right?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's not often that I'm nervous for an interview. That's actually a compliment. But I told you to prepare some things a little bit because we're always starting off with the highs and lows of the week. So before we getting into the show, how was the week?
Yeah, and also it's my first English podcast, so I can't wait for that. The week, quite busy actually. I come back from LA, but it's a bit a secret because I was there for a sponsor.
Oh.
So I can't say too much about it yet, but yeah, it's exciting.
And you had the race last weekend in Paris. Now, travel always for me comes with a lot of highs and lows. What was there any like a low of the week?
That might be like I lost actually my Oura ring on my trip to LA, so yeah. A bit sad about it because it lasts like maybe just 1 month. So that's not very a good thing, but that's okay. And the data, you find it very... No, I'm not very data person. It's for my coach. I leave that for my coach. And maybe the highlight will be like, the sun is back in Girona, finally. After 2 months, maybe like just like being in the rain. So that's pretty nice.
And you're saying that, but last week, so today it is Friday, and I arrived in Girona on Sunday. And I've basically only had rain here every day. So you're saying like the high of your week was that it's actually been pretty sunny. And it is true, it was sunny one day. And that's actually my low of the week because I went out running in a singlet. And I never run in a singlet, but I went through all my clothing and I got flipping sunburned all over. That's why they call me the
I'm very sorry for you. That's very unfortunate, but yeah, sorry for all these people coming in camp in Girona. It's not the year, I think.
It's I should always wear suntan lotion, and I did not. But today in this podcast, I want to talk a little bit about, I want to picture a portrait of you. So we're not going to talk about data, so threshold training, etc., because everyone is doing a bit of the same thing. I want to talk today a little bit about, a small bit about the background, a little bit about personality things, small bits about the Olympics, family, friends, and then some afterthoughts. So I did a little, I wouldn't say deep dive because I couldn't find a lot or either on YouTube or podcast. But I saw that in 2014 or 15 that you went to, was it either a high school or something? It was called Lycée Audi Berthy in Antibes?
Yeah, so I'm coming like from, I would say more like from next to Paris.
Yeah.
And then I moved maybe for my 14, 15, I can't remember that much, to Antibes, south of France, which was much better for the weather and just better for training. I was more at this time maybe swimmer, runner. I don't really enjoy the bike. And the club there is very like known to be like a very good swimming club. So at the first year I had to swim like twice a day.
But did you go there specifically for the school or for the swimming club?
No, it's just because also like we wanted to move with my family at this time, so it was the good time to go.
And did you had at the time when you were younger in your mind like I want to become a professional athlete, or were you there in school with like a whole other thought like I'm becoming, I don't know, an accountant or whatever?
The thing is, I've never been very good in school. I was always the one like, next to the window and always dreaming. Like, I was not very focused on what I was doing, and I didn't like really like studying and all of that. So I think it was a good exit for me, being an athlete, a professional athlete, but I didn't know like if I could actually do it. Like I knew I had potential, but I was just living day by day.
Because how fast did that transition go then from going to a professional athlete? So you were 17, I think, 18?
Yeah, so I've always like raced already like junior worlds. Mm-hmm. Like I was racing like in the French team for like quite a long time, like in young categories, like in running as well. Like I've done world juniors on track, on 1500s. So I think, I was a bit everywhere at the beginning. I was like maybe like in good team like for the triathlon and the running. I didn't really know. I was just like, well, I'm doing everything I want right now because I can. But then obviously after high school, you're like, oh, what am I doing? After I graduated. You're saying that you were really good at the running bit when you were junior. I had a little look at some of the times. So I saw you ran something like a 5K road race in 14:53. Like for me, that's like an insane time. And in 2016, so that is like 18 years old, a 33-minute 10K. Now last week in Paris, I ran a 34-minute 10K, so I was a minute slower being 12 years older. But the intro of our podcast is called Why Be Good at One Sport If You Can Be Shit at Three? So that is like the gimmick for triathlon. If you were really good at running, why, and at one point, did you move then to triathlon? How did that came? As I said, I have done some triathlon when I was younger. Like I would not say I'm not coming from just running and swimming. I was doing some triathlon, but I think my mind was more like, I was enjoying doing everything, but I was not good at cycling at all. And that was my problem in triathlon. Like I had no skills and I didn't enjoy like just training for the bike. Like I just didn't enjoy it at all. Like I was like, oh, that's long. Like, and I was also like a bit more on my own for this discipline. Like I was like swimming with a group, running sometimes alone, but I didn't mind that. And like sometimes going with some people, but like on the bike, I was mostly alone. And I think like, that's why maybe I didn't enjoy it as much as well.
Yeah, it's really, especially on the bike, putting in a lot of hours at a young age.
And I mean, I was lucky enough to be like in a school like where you get like special schedule like to train, but they didn't know like at my school what is triathlon. They were like more for like people doing like swimming, golf, like basketball, but I was the only triathlete. And the thing is like, because I was in a swimming club, they were not allowing me to like go like really much to do like running on bike. Like they were just like, okay, you swim twice and then whatever, So I had to like add sometimes some bike and run. And the bike was often the one I didn't really want to do that much.
And why didn't you then choose to go, for example, for an athletics career? So like 1500 meter?
I think it just like went naturally. Like I mean, I didn't have the same level, obviously, like on the run that I could have in triathlon. Like I thought like it would open more like doing triathlon. Like I was just thinking, well, I'm never like gonna be like world champion, in running. Like, let's be honest. Yeah? I was not thinking like it can be possible.
But you did think, I'm able to do it in triathlon.
But also like, so I had this thing that I really love swimming as well. And I was not ready to stop one of the sport. Like I was like, okay, like I just have to like to get a better relationship with the bike. That's all.
And you say the bike was your problem, but you were swimming like twice and you were doing the running. But you did find something in yourself that you were saying, I want to become a professional triathlete. That was something you looked up to. I want to go to the Olympics. That was at the time your dream.
Yeah, like I think after when I moved after high school like to Montpellier, where there is actually like a triathlon center, and the best girls were there at the time. So I was like, okay, I wanted, I think, more to escape also home, because like, so my dad was coaching me. Yeah. And I didn't have the best relationship with him, and I've lost also my mom when I was like 10. So for me, like I had just this like relationship basically with my dad, and it was not the best, as I said. So I was just like, okay, I need to escape, and I just want like to start something new. Yeah. So moved there. I had no idea what I was doing. You know, I was just like, I need to escape home. Like it's the best for me.
And what was so hard when your dad was your coach, that you missed him as being like a father and you saw him as a coach?
Yeah, it was like for me, like it was more that like I think I built a bit myself alone, I would say, because it was not. I don't think. Like I think we don't. Yeah, I don't think it was the best thing. That's why. But like when I moved there, like. It was basically I had to build myself, you know, like to like restart everything, because in my mind I was a bit broken for all my past, and I think because emotionally I was like very broken.
But maybe that's also where an extreme drive comes from, that you as a very young woman need to make a future for yourself, and you find a little passion in triathlon and you're by yourself. Is that where you found back in the days also a bit of a drive from, or?
I don't know, like I think I was really never thinking about what I was doing, you know, every time I was just like, okay, at this time I just want like to go there because I know I need to live, and I didn't know if it will be the best like thing to do, but I was luckily like supporting myself, so like I could actually live on my own, like I don't need my dad to live, so it was good because I had the support of my club at the time. And I didn't ask him for anything. So like I was just a bit on my own, and I was lucky enough to have people there to like welcome me. And that's how I met my first official coach, you know, like because, well, my dad was coaching me.
How old were you then at that time?
18.
18.
Yeah.
It was actually a super brave decision brave and incredibly hard to decide I'm going on my own, because you also you lost your mother and.
But I found like my second mom there. Like, basically, like I feel sorry for my coach. So her name is Steph, and she had to do everything. Like I was like not a baby because I think I was like, but I was starting in life, you know, like with no help, and she was there like from the start, and she helped me for like 7 years. So she was coaching me for 7 years, and I think. Like most of it was like because of her that I started to like open my eyes to so many things, and I started like she saw I was emotionally broken. Like she was just trying to help me like to find who I was. Like I think it was like just I was really so grateful like she was there.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's such
just growing up like with like no woman with you, like it was just nice having, you know, like this support for me. Yeah. Like because I wanted like to understand how the life of a woman, you know, like young woman was working.
It's not something I can, like a man can teach you. And is she still? So she was your coach at the time. Is she still in your life?
Oh yeah, like she's a national coach actually.
Okay.
So she's all the time here, basically in all the races. But yeah, like the thing was hard with her, like for her, I will say more for her. It was like I was very hard to train because I just knew my dad, as I said, and the problem was I was very hard with myself because he was hard with me all the time. Like I never like received like basically a well done when I was winning a race. Like it was never enough. Yeah. So I was built like okay, like even if you win. It's not good enough. Like you need to like basically like destroy the race. You know, like he was like crazy about that.
Where does that that it's not good enough come from? For who do you think you're doing that? Is that for yourself, or is that to prove that?
I think at the time it was for people. I was more doing that.
Okay.
Like at this time I was more, I think, doing that for him because like he was the one who like actually maybe make me know the sport, and like. I think I just wanted to like make people happy as well, like to prove him like, okay, like I wanted to show him that I was good enough, you know, like I wanted him to like say, well done, or like, and I was like searching for him to say something. And the problem is like when I arrived to Montpellier and Steph like had to like understand how I was working. She like every time she was saying like it's good, I was like no, it's not good. Like I was always like telling myself it's not good. I was like, why you're lying? It's not good. Or when I was doing a session and I thought it was not good enough, I was just leaving. Or I was just like well, it's shit what I'm doing. So, and she had to explain to me that I can't just give up. It was the same in races when I was in junior. The thing is, I reached like quite good level in junior, and I started doing podium like quite fast, I would say. And the problem is, the year after, when I was coming back to the race, I was like, okay, I've been second last year. If I'm not winning, I'm not good. I was like completely broken. So like I had to like tell myself it was good, you know, like
our youth or how we grew up, it kind of shapes the way how we're living a long time of our lives. And when we're just doing the introduction a little bit, so before we were recording this, you were also saying that you find it you were nervous getting on camera, and I was saying that you were actually a bit too hard on yourself, you know, because you've got a great character, you're like a phenomenal athlete, and
but I'm coming from far. Like,
you are. But it's like it's also good to show yourself that, you know, you've been coming from really far. Like I can't even imagine where you've been, you know, and I don't think a lot of people can. But it's good to look back and where you are now, when we're coming to certain bits of that. It's that you can be incredibly proud of how you've done that, you know, as a real young girl. That is.
I think, I mean, I will continue maybe the story, but I think it's what I've heard from my brother. He said after last year, he said, I'm not proud because like you became Olympic champion. I'm proud because like the woman you became. Yeah. And I was actually crying when he said that. I was like, wow, like that's the best compliment he could have said to me. Like I think I was not searching to be like, you know, like, of course I was dreaming about an Olympic medal, but I think I was more trying to be a better person, like trying to just like make the best version of myself, I think. And okay, the sport, like it's good, like because I became also the best version of myself in sport, but it was also like in terms of just the person I am, you know, like.
In the end, it's all growth, you know. You're still you're 27 years old. You're still super young, and that's sometimes you look back or you learn from a certain situation. But like you said, where you come from, it's you can be really extremely proud of that.
But in Montpellier, it was not easy because I was training for the first time with some good girls. Because we were a group of girls.
With the swimming or?
Triathlon.
Triathlon, okay.
I was training with Leonie Perriot.
Yeah.
And for me, like discovering to train like with girls, I've never done before. Like I was like always mostly like on my own, or like, I mean in swimming I was with people, but not for triathlon, for all training. And it was challenging for me because I'm a very competitive person. And I needed confidence at this time. So I think, like it's teach me a lot. Like this time also teach me like, oh, I have to train with girls as well, you know.
And what did it teach you?
Like you can't be like the best at every training. Like I would say I'm not that bad in training. I'm actually okay. Yeah. I'm quite good, but sometimes it's okay if you're not at the front, you know, for some training.
But even when you were racing or training, but you were racing and training older girls, women.
Yeah.
And you were trying to beat them every time.
Well, I have such a competitive mentality, or maybe it's coming also from my past. I don't even know, but like I was like struggling so much, and obviously it's not the case. But yeah, it was like a tough moment for that, I think.
If you look at the so you were then training with a group or alone, would you say you as a person rather trains alone or rather now with a group? Looking back at or now where you are as.
I like both. Like I think I like at some moment being with the group, and sometimes like I like finding myself like
But with the key sessions, for example, like a track session, do you get too competitive still when you would do it with other people?
The thing is, I can actually push myself very hard alone as well. I don't really need someone to push me hard. Of course, like it's helping me, and sometimes I can do maybe better session if I have someone to push me.
Yeah.
But I think I can actually push myself very hard in training at whatever if I'm alone.
And what do you? So besides the, everyone is training hard, and we've got everyone trains a lot of hours. But in between the sessions, what do you do? So you're coming back. Do you have a certain hobby?
Like for the moment, I'm trying to recover because I'm a bit everywhere. But I think just when I'm coming back home, the most important thing for me is I like to shut down about training. Triathlon, when you go past the door, I like when it's done,
But what do you do? So for example, you've got a 3-hour ride, you're coming back, and you've got 3 hours in between the sessions. What do you do? Like watching Netflix? Or
that's different now because so last year I've been in the UK for 2 years after Montpellier, and the thing is I never had time to just relax because I had to go to the uni so I've moved to the UK 2 years before the Olympics after Tokyo because so everything come from Tokyo. I've been completely destroyed mentally. I've done such a bad race, and I've been completely what can I do now? Because I nearly wanted to stop triathlon. I was why doing that? I didn't even finish the race there, and I was actually very depressed. I'm not even kidding. I was just I don't even know how I raced the relay after. And I was I really want to move, and it took me 1 year to find what I wanted to do. And when I found a place to go, so I went to the UK, and I think so. I knew I would need, because now there is the Brexit, so I needed a way to go there, and the only way was to be student. So I didn't study for 7 years after the how you say, I don't even know, I was graduating in 18. At 18.
And what did you do?
So I did sport coaching, but it's not something I want to do at all.
No, but
it was just I needed to find something to do, and I was surely I will understand that because it's what I'm doing. But I really did that to be there, to be able to train there, and so I didn't know what was chilling for the past 2 years, because every time I was trying to run every time to the school, because the thing is I had to respect 85% of attendance, which is a lot. So I had to do some other sport, badminton, frisbee, some other sport. That was not my stuff, but so that was the thing. Now, since I'm here, I'm chilling, because I didn't chill for 2 years. I was just running everywhere.
But then, actually, now if you've got more time to chill, then you've got more time to recover, you would be getting even better.
No, maybe. I don't know, because the thing is, I don't even know. Maybe but the thing is, after Olympics, I had so many things to do now. So I was going for so many more things for sponsor and stuff. So I don't really have time to actually chill here.
And now in Girona, for example, tomorrow you've got a big training day. You said you wake up, the alarm goes. Do you have a certain ritual in the morning, or is it just simple oatmeal, bam, get the lycra on and start the ride?
I think I have a routine. It changes every morning, but it's not very original. I'm taking some bread, Nutella when I go to training. Yeah, that's all.
With banana?
No banana, just Nutella, tartine Nutella, that's all. Bread, Nutella.
And then that does the job for an Olympic champion, bread and Nutella.
No, that's not the best diet, coffee. Actually. No?
Why not? I don't know. I see Christian Blumenfeld eating stuff like that. I mean, you've got a gold medal, I don't. So you probably know how it works. But besides that, so you a coffee, and then do you take certain vitamin D or stuff like that?
I'm very bad with supplements. I was always ill in the UK, because you can imagine the weather was not ideal, and every 2 weeks I was ill. So I don't know, but no, I'm not too bad. I mean, it's not sunny, but...
I mean, if I can hear you saying that, then people are definitely overcomplicating things.
No, like I think it's me who is like actually still quite bad, like next to training. I know I'm not doing everything perfectly, but it's work for me. Like it cannot work for people, but what can work for me, like, yeah. It's what's better for me, you know.
Fair enough. I
can be better, maybe. Like I can try, maybe, and see like how it goes. But it's not. I will not be consistent enough, I think.
Is that the thing? So, as an athlete, just like a bodybuilder, you always look at, the swim, bike, run, and nutrition recovery. Would you say nutrition is then the key bit for you, what you need to improve next to become better? Or what do you focus on that you're saying this is the next step where I can improve?
I think at this point, like, I don't even ask myself. Like, I'm really like living day after day, like day by day. And I just try, like, the most important for me right now, I think, is like staying happy and like, not being bored about training and racing, you know, like, because last year I was like, okay, what can I do now? Because I won the best race I could have won. Yeah. What is next, you know? And I was like, well, I think I just want to continue like what I'm doing, you know, because I'm doing well and I'm just enjoying it still. So like, I don't want to wonder, like, I don't want to ask myself, like, what can I do to be better? Like, I can just try, as I said, like, to do all the thing good, but yeah, like...
About this subject, so how to be better, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, the Olympics this summer. The prep for, is it completely different than for normal World Championships normally? Or is it just like a massive race, which is mainly for everyone that works towards it, but the prep is actually a little bit the same? Or did you do things differently?
I think... So what we do, like the federation, for example, they ask us to like perform on one day. They were asking us to perform on test event, so the year before. And I have to say, I've never performed on a day. Like in Tokyo, as I said, it was terrible. Like every time I was going to big race, I never won a World Championships. Junior, I was silver. Under 23, I was silver. And yeah, so like, for me, it was the biggest thing, like, how can I handle the pressure and be able to perform on the day?
Because it was the pressure that...
I think it was the pressure. More like, I mean, I was not as consistent. I started to be more consistent, well, 2 years before the Olympics. I could do like the best race ever, and then like 2 weekends after, like, I was completely like not good. But I think it was not something I really worked on. Like it was something like really like, I don't know, like I was just like, I was not thinking about it same. Like I was just like doing my own thing. And I think this time, when I moved to the UK, I didn't have the pressure like from anything, like from the federation and stuff, because I was just doing my own thing. I was focusing on myself.
But why do you think, for example, the federation would give you pressure, or is it just something you tell yourself you need to?
I think like, for example, Tokyo, it was myself. I put no one, like I was not a big name. So obviously I put the pressure on myself. But coming to Paris, I knew I would have pressure.
Yeah, it's a home race.
Yeah, and because I was obviously like doing well, like the season before and the season coming as well. So I was like, okay, I was actually very scared because I know I improved my consistency. I know I improved a lot, like on my mindset. Like I was not the same person for sure. I had the confidence that changed everything. And really what I told myself was like, well, like, can it be worse than Tokyo, where I didn't finish the race? And I was like, for sure, I don't want to live the same as Tokyo. Like, in my mind, I was like, it was raining the same on the morning. And I was like, well, I actually telling myself, you don't want to leave Tokyo again. And I was like, the thing that I did wrong in Tokyo was like, I want this medal so badly. I want to do well. I was just thinking about the results. And I didn't even want to be there. Like I was crying before the race in Tokyo. I was like so much in pressure that I was crying, and I was like, really, like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't want to race.
Did you start to forget enjoying what you're actually doing?
Yeah, and that's why I was like in Paris. I think straight, I was like, okay, I'm in the action right now. Like I stay like in the moment, and I was like, you're so happy to be here. Like whatever the race will be, it will be maybe the best day of your life, because like you have all the people who are like here to cheer for you, whatever if you're good or not good. Like it's true, like all these people there, the French people and stuff, they were here, and if you're good or not good, like they're still happy, you know, like they're still happy to cheer for you. And like I was like, well, I want this day anyways, whatever happened, to like that I can remember it, you know, like, and for good, like not even if I do bad, you know, because I was like, okay, well, I've done bad in Tokyo, and look, I'm not dead after that.
And in the end, it sounds easier than it is. But if you're standing at the start line of the Olympics, you know it only happens one time in 4 years, and you know that you're one of the favorites, then still it must be very like.
It was crazy. Like the feeling I had before the race, I can't even explain. Like it was crazy because my mind completely switched like on the lineup. Like I was going there, like because I was the first French to be called, and when they call my name, obviously, like the French are crazy, like when it's like your country, you know. So like I can just remember like all the goosebumps I had. I was like going down, I was completely like emotional, and I was like, right now, I can switch to like being like in the moment, and it's not the Olympics, or like I'm just like being like, you know, like feeling everything, and I can be completely like crying again, like Tokyo. So I was like, okay, no, like I'm controlling that. Like it's just another race. Like I was really thinking like it's just another race. Like you can do it. You know, I was just thinking what I need to do right now. Like just stay focused on what you need to do. But it's very hard. Like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even racing for results in the pro field, and I get nervous, you know, with breakfast, and that you get the noises, etc. So I can't even imagine what it's like when you're standing there. But if you walk up to the pontoon and everyone is like screaming, and that must be absolutely awesome. Like, but if you then. So you got the race, and everyone can analyze it or see it online. But if you then, at some point, you know that you're going to win Olympic gold, and you cross that finish line, does that then feel so different than, for example, crossing the finish line and becoming world champion? Or
well, it's completely different. I think also like the year before, like so on the grand final, I remember on the morning I was still like leading, but for nothing, you know, the World Series. And I did still a good race, but it was not enough, and I finished third. And on the general, I finished second. And I was like, oh, another time silver, you know? Yeah. And I had this feeling, another time silver. Like I was like, well, why?
Did you have that during the Olympics, another time silver, or?
No, I wasn't thinking that, but I was like, so when I crossed this line, I was like, I've been second at Worlds all my life, but I've just won the most important race of my career right now. So I was like, I would have switched every medal, you know, for this one. And I was like, maybe it was not the time, you know, and that was the good time. I don't know.
Does that, when you then cross it, immediately dawn on you, or does it take a little bit for...
I think I was like still sleeping. Like I was like, can someone wake me up? Like I was just like, you know, like looking at the tape in my hands, and I was like someone has to wake me up, you know. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, because of everything that happened, like, it was not even just thinking about the race. It was like everything I was going through, like all the way I've been, like all the path I've gone to like be at this time, you know, like it was like such a hard like way, you know.
And are you then also referring to like when you were younger up until getting
everything
there?
Like it was crazy, because I think I was not thinking like you've done it. I was like, well, like how did it happen, you know? Like I was like, oh, I was able to perform on the day when I was like always like, you know. And I've heard so many things about me, obviously, that everyone like were speaking that I was not performing on the day, you know, and that I will again like lose with the pressure, you know, like I will completely like not be good. And I've done it. Like I was like, I proved to myself and I proved to all the people who are like not believing in me.
And that's the confidence that you can now take with you.
For sure, I was not the same athlete. After like already I saw it like, so at the beginning of the season, beginning of season, 2 months before, I've won my first Olympic distance in Cagliari because I won just sprint distance before. And that was maybe the race where I saw that I was ready, because like before it was always my mind, it was like stopping me first, I think. And on this race in Cagliari, I was starting to have so much pain and I was dropping. And I think the girls before knew that if I was dropping a bit, you know, like it's done, you know, like bye, see you later. But at this point, I was dropping and I was like, wait, no, you're not dropping. Like you're gonna kill yourself to this lane, because if you give them the opportunity to win now, they will think they can do it every time. And I wanted to prove to myself and these girls that no, I'm gonna fight as well for it, you know, because I'm not the same person. I knew I wasn't the same person, but I was like, you can't even think about like dropping now. Like you have to finish. It was crazy, like, because I think it switched at this time as well. I was like, okay, I knew I was improving like every time, you know, in my mind. But at this race, I think it's when it makes the difference, because I was like, okay, no, they actually know as well that I'm not gonna give up even if I'm dropped. Like I will fight until the end, whatever.
Like a pitbull.
Yeah, like I was
that's
like
something
actually
new that you found in yourself since.
Like I was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna leave it to someone, you know. And I was like, I had the confidence to like come back, and I was like, okay, like, and I sprint if I have to sprint, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's just crazy, because after that, my confidence like just like went up, and I was every race like, I'm never gonna like give up anymore in my mind. Like it's not gonna happen. So they will have to like drop me, like improve, you know, the pace, or like, you know, like, but I'm not gonna let this medal. And it was the same in Olympics. It was such a hard run, and we were fought for like 3 medals, and we had such a strong pace that I was every time like, well, I don't even know if I can hold that, you know, like surely after this lap it will drop, like the pace, you know.
Do you wear a watch then?
I was, but it was not working, so. So because it was writing 3:40, I think the GPS didn't work, but we were like mostly like 3:15, so.
Yeah, because it was something like you ran 32.
It was very fast. Like I've raced like a good time, but you never know the distance, you know, in other races. Yeah. But I think it was the first time we ran that. I ran that fast for sure. But the thing is, I didn't want to be the one who will drop. And I was like, surely there will be a girl who will drop like in the next lap, you know. And no one was dropping. And I was like, wow, like that's crazy fast. Like I was the same, and I was like so glad that I've done this race where I was working on my mind, like that. Because I was like, no, like it's like a battle a bit like with the other girl about who will drop first, you know, like.
And that is where it comes from, grow through discomfort, and also why people who are older have an advantage in comparison to people who are younger, because they've got the experience, you know, they've got the racing experience. You grew.
Oh, for sure, like.
You've got the confidence now, what you maybe didn't had, or you had it when you were younger, but you just didn't know where to find it yet.
Yeah.
Did a lot change now after the Olympics? So you had the Olympics, boom, gold medal. Do you like after the race eat snails and champagne with the president?
I never had snails. No? Like that's a myth, yeah. I never had snails. No, so like I think so. I was not sleeping much after this race, for
like
sure.
Pure excitement.
Yeah, like I was like I couldn't still believe what I've done. Like I was just like as if it's happened, you know. Like it's crazy because my level was improving, but I was still so surprised. Like as I said, because of everything I was going through, like it was never like, you know, like just up, you know, like I had so many downs, and that's maybe some people knows that, you know, like I was like so many times down, and had to come back, and like you're done again. So I think it's more that I was like, wow, like I still can't believe that. Like it's happened. Why is it happening now? Like it's crazy. And after that, I had to like put myself again in a race for the relay. And then after my season was not finished, I didn't want to finish at this time, because I was like still like full of confidence, and I was like, I want to race now because I feel like I'm good and I'm motivated. And
did you take a moment to like literally appreciate / celebrate what you've just personally accomplished? Because it's not something you do every week or every day, and there's occasions in life normally, like buying a house, maybe because I don't know, getting kids or whatever, that you should celebrate an Olympic medal. Like there's not a lot of people that get it. Like, did you have a moment where you?
Well, the funny thing is like I didn't party that much because I was so dead from all this media like race that you're going after. Like you're like they just like take you everywhere, and I wasn't like you get ready for the race, but no one gets you ready for like that. What happened after, Because I've been living with no success after, so I didn't know how it looks like to have a medal,
Mm-hmm.
And it was so tiring. I was everywhere, like it was crazy because also it was obviously in France. But no, the thing I was like actually emotional about, it was more like, I think seeing my family like crying, and I saw my dad, and it was the first time he said like, I'm so proud. And I was like, why you had to wait like 27 years to say me that, I was just like, well, I don't know why he said that to me, And even like, seeing like, I think my family were quite like reserved, like we don't express ourselves very much between us. And just seeing everyone like crying, like in tears, I was just like, I can't look at that. Like I was like, I can't.
But what is that? Do you think this is now also the moment that you start picking up the relationship with your dad again?
I already I was working on it like a few years before. Like it's obviously not perfect. It's still better. But I think it's just show like every time I've done something, I choose like where I was going, every choice I've done in my life, I had always people like judging me or saying like, you're not doing the good choice. Like when I left to Montpellier, first my dad said, you're completely wrong, you will completely be like bad, you will have no result, blah, blah, blah. Came to like the UK, no one was really behind me. Like it was like, why is she doing this choice? Like, what is she doing, and I was, well, I think it's good for me, I don't really care. Like the thing is, it's funny because like you will put me in a restaurant, I will struggle to choose on the menu. Yeah. But when I choose something in life, I'm just going like
all in.
Yeah, full gas. And I will not even like turn around, I will just like go, and I will try my best to make it work, whatever. Like even if it's not the good choice, I wanted like to prove myself and other people that it was the good choice because it was what was good for me, like maybe it was not good for someone else, as we said, but it was actually good for me because I went like, I follow my heart, I was just like, okay, you go. And same, like, so, I was like, okay, see, I could show to my dad, okay, like you were judging maybe my choice when I left Montpellier, but it was part of my story. And then, so I'm glad of my, obviously, Montpellier moments. I was glad about the UK moment because it's bring me so much. Mm-hmm. And now, like Girona, everyone can say what they want to me. I will not care.
yeah, of course, because you've already had.
Yeah. And I proved myself that, well, I can just choose whatever because, like, I will just make it work. Like if I'm good where I am, and it's the most important for me.
And in the end, it's your life, and if you stand behind the decisions you make, that's actually really grown up to be able to have the confidence in that. And now after the Olympics, and this is I see a lot of athletes went through the Olympic cycle. You've got Olympic gold, you've got the world title last year. What fires you that you still want to go after like another cycle of the Olympics, and like how do you keep that fire going? And because if you're an entrepreneur, there is no ceiling, you can literally the sky's the limit. But in top sport, this is the highest you can get.
But sometimes, like, do you remember more someone by the title the person got, or you remember more the career of someone? And I think for me, like, I remember more like people's career sometimes than just someone who get a title, you know. And I was just like, why I will stop now? Like, okay, I have achieved but I have nothing to lose now. So it's even better, like, because I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in the best moment of my career, and I was like, well, now I have nothing to lose. I can just bring more win and stuff, you know, like I want more win, you know, like, and it's also like I enjoy what I'm doing. Like I have such a good life, and like, okay, it's not easy every day, like most of people, you know, but it's still like a luxury, I think, what we do, and I really enjoy it. Like at the time, I will not enjoy it at all, and I will come to a race and I will be like so depressed and like, you know, I don't want to be here. Like it doesn't, you know.
But in the beginning, at the start, you were saying that you did find it hard after the Olympics to find what's next.
Yeah, because like you still have like a little moment where you're like, whoa, like how can I do better?
Yeah.
But I asked myself, and I was like, well, I just want to like, you know, like make history if I can for my sport, or like, you know, like just for myself. Like as I said, I'm still enjoying it. So, and you know, in France, we never had like, obviously like there is Vince that we had, you know, like he made like a bit the start of the history for France, and I was like always like looking at him up and being like, okay, like he brings so much to our sport. And I remember like when he said like I'm done, you know, it makes, I mean, everyone were a bit sad, you know, because you're like, oh, like he was the one who like make triathlon bigger in France, and I want like to imitate him, you know, like to be the same, or like maybe if I can do better, like I will try to do better. And then, you know, like...
And that fires you the same still at this moment?
Like, I just like also, you know, the fact that when I saw kids after races, like it was in Yeovil the same last weekend, I see them like so happy, like it was crazy, like they were like just wanted to see me race, you know. They were like, oh, you're so fast, oh, I love like looking at you racing. And I was like, wow, that's, you know, like I just imagine like myself, and I was like maybe the same sometimes looking at athletes like that when I was younger. Not triathlete, because I was not very into triathlon, but...
And you don't think, because when you were younger, you were saying that you found it sometimes very boring. Triathlon in the end is very repetitive.
No, I will not say that, because obviously like you have 3 sports, so it's not as boring, and you can come to many places, you know, like you're outside, so it's not like being a swimmer in the pool, you know, like it's not boring. I think I was more saying that because I didn't like the bike at the time, but when you get a bit better, you start enjoying it more as well, you know, like it's like everything. If you get better in something, like you're like, oh.
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice from what you've learned over the last couple of years, what would you say to yourself?
Like, I think just about confidence and believing in me. Like, if it's take time, it's take time, you know. But like, yeah, be more confident and less hard with myself, maybe. Yeah.
And I think that perfectly summed yourself up.
Alrighty, my dogs, a little small commercial in betweener as I need to pay for my coffees in Girona. And I want to keep all the episodes for free. Now, did you know that caffeine is the king of endurance supplements, as it's backed by science, proven to boost performance to the 4%. And that's why all 90% of the elite athletes use it. And it was even banned up until 2004. Now, why is it? It's because caffeine blocks a certain neurotransmitter in your brain that makes you feel tired. So if you don't feel tired, you're able to go longer and go deeper. But Tommy, there has to be a problem. And that's right, baby. Because most supplements on the market, caffeine supplements, use either a synthetical source or they're filled with a lot of additives, sugar, etc., etc. And that's all going to leave you very jitterish, very anxious, you know, that anxious feeling, and sprinting to the next toilet. We've all been there. Now, with Gonna Fuel, we did it differently. So Gonna Fuel is a performance shot with 200 milligrams of caffeine. And it's not just from the coffee beans or a synthetical source, but from guarana mostly. That is a natural source and has all the benefits and none of the negatives. So I want you to give this a try. And with code BIGDOG, you get 10% off your first order. You can check it all out on gonnafuel.com and use code BIGDOG to get 10% off your order and spank it in the next training sessions and races.
We've got always a segment in the podcast called the Bullshit Buster. And have you seen things in the sports? It can literally be anything from a training philosophy to on necessarily extreme amount of supplements, etc.
Maybe many things, but I always ask myself, or ask people actually, why people run so fast in easy run. You know, when you want just to go for an easy jog.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And for me, like an easy run, I would say an easy run, recovery, or like warm up, is never faster than 5 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I go out with someone, I'm the one struggling. It can be anyone. Like everyone is running so fast, like warm up and like easy runs. And I'm sorry, but like we need to stop that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Also, if I run easy, I run very easy. But would you, if an easy long run, would you also run relatively like 4:45, 5 minutes, 5:10? Or is it
honestly,
just warm up recovery?
If you take the average of my easy run, like normal run, easy run, when it's not a session, I'm 5 minutes okay. And if you're not like slower than that or the same pace, I'm going alone. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna go with you for sure. If you're like faster than 4:50, I will probably
Is it on the downhill sections? Is that?
Yeah, if it's downhill.
No kidding. I've got a couple of quick fire questions and then we're gonna wrap it up. Would you say you are ordering chaos or organized?
Well, I'm not organized. Definitely not.
Girona or Paris?
For what? That depends.
Life?
Oh, life. I really like Paris, but Girona.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Better coffee.
Yeah, I mean,
because I was in Paris last
maybe
week.
People are a bit nicer, you know, like rude French. Yeah. No one really like rude French, so even me sometimes.
A career in fashion or Ironman? Because I've seen you doing some fashion sneaky sides.
Fashion.
Yeah?
Fashion. Yeah, I don't have a career in Ironman for sure.
And also we won't be seeing you anytime soon in long distance.
Well, I'm trying maybe to say that maybe I can commit to like a 70.3. That's all. That would be my only try. But Ironman, no. I don't think so.
For now, I want to thank you a lot for this very open. I think, I mean, there was a lot of the stuff that I haven't heard. Yeah, thanks. Don't be too hard on yourself. For now, thanks for listening, and we'll be seeing you next week.
Thanks to you.
Okay.
Oh, got me.
Cheers.